Hello, I am Dr. Pallavi Gupta. I will teach you healthcare law. Today I will discuss what are the constitutional remedies for healthcare. Under this topic I will discuss introduction, structure of judicial system under the Constitution of India, what is the process to get the remedies, how a person can move to the Supreme Court, and how a person can move to the High Court to get remedy for healthcare, and the various issues raised before the court relating to healthcare, a right to health and right to health as a fundamental right, judicial activism related to healthcare and right to healthcare. Introduction. The court has played a vital role in recognizing healthcare issues, right to health, by imposing positive obligation on the authorities to maintain and improve public health under directive principle of state policies and fundamental rights. The Indian judiciary also played a very active role by entertaining public interest litigation, which provide an opportunity to the judiciary to examine the socio-economic, health, human and environmental conditions of the oppressed, poor and downtrodden people under Article 32 of the Constitution. The Supreme Court has directed the government to implement the fundamental rights to life and liberty under Article 21 and executed protection measures in the public interest. Likewise, the court has also pointed out that fundamental rights are intended to foster the ideal of political democracy and to prevent the establishment of authoritarian rule, but they are of no value unless they be enforced by resort to court. The structure of judicial system and Constitution of India. Under Article 32, we can file writ petition for the violation of fundamental right, and under Article 136 we can file special leave petition in the Supreme Court if the matter is not subject for the appeal. And under Article 226 and 227, a person can move to High Court for the writ jurisdiction and appellate jurisdiction. Process and remedies. The Constitution of India under Article 32, 126, 226 and 227 provides the right to move the Supreme Court and High Court respectively by appropriate proceedings for the enforcement of rights conferred and guaranteed under the Constitution. Under the Article 32 and 120 and 136, a person can file a writ petition to Supreme Court for the violation of fundamental right, and under 32 also a person move to Supreme Court to file public interest litigation. Under the case of Neelavati Vera case, Supreme Court entertained a letter as a petition and awarded compensation also. Here I would like to say the court has liberalized the traditional rule that only a person who has suffered injury by reason of violation of his legal right or interest is entitled to seek judicial redress. The Supreme Court has enlarged the right of citizens under this article for the purpose of dealing with public law known as public interest litigation. Under Article 226 or 227, a person is having a right to move to High Court for the enforcement of the rights conferred and guaranteed under the Constitution and other law. It means a person is having a right to go to the High Court for the violation of constitutional or as well as legal right. There are various issues raised before the Supreme Court and High Court related to healthcare and right to healthcare. I will discuss several issues. For example, whether healthcare will shall be covered under Article 21 of the Constitution, whether state is having obligation to provide medical facilities during the employment or after the employment, whether the government, hospitals and dispensaries claim sovereignty, immunity under the Constitution for negligent act of the servant. Does the disclosure of the status of an HIV positive person to other by the doctor amount to an infringement of the right to privacy of that person? Can the government, hospital, and dispensary claim immunity? Is it the obligatory upon the state to provide adequate medical services to people to preserve human life under the Constitution? Is it obligatory upon the doctors in government hospital to conduct a medical examination of rape victim without it being referred to them by the police? Now I will discuss the judicial activism related to healthcare and right to healthcare. Let us take the first point: constitutional right to a healthy life. The court, in the process of judicial interpretation, have expanded the scope of Article 21 to bring within its fold the right to health care. It decided number of the case laws to regulate health services. For example, the Supreme Court, while examining the issue of constitutional right to healthcare under directive principles of state policies and fundamental right under Article 21, 41 and 47 of the Constitution of India in state of Punjab versus Ram Lubaya Bagga, observed that the right of one person correlate to a duty upon another individual, employer, government, or authorities has the right of a citizen to live under Article 21 cast an obligation on the state, and this obligation is further reinforced under Article 47. It is for the state to secure health to its citizen as its primary duty. No doubt, the government is rendering this obligation by opening government hospitals and health centers, but to be meaningful, they must be within the reach of its people and of sufficient liquid quality, since it is one of the most valuable right of a citizen and equally valuable and sacred obligation of the state. Every citizen of this welfare state look look towards the state to perform this obligation with top priority, including by way of allocation of sufficient fund. This in turn will not only secure the rights of its citizens to their satisfaction but will benefit the state in achieving its social, political and economic goal. The court held that the state can neither urge nor say that it has no obligation to provide medical facilities. If that were so, it would be ex officio in violation of Article 21. The court held that no state or country can have unlimited resources to spend on any of its project. Provision of facilities cannot be unlimited. It has to be to the extent that finance permitted. The principle of fixing of rate and scale under such a policy is justified and cannot be held to be violative under Article 21 or Article 47 of the Constitution if anyone claim. Under a policy where medical services continue to be given, though an employee may be given a free choice to get treatment in any private hospital in India, although the amount of reimbursement may be limited. Recognition of right to health care as a fundamental right. This this issue is discussed in the case of Pashchim Banga Khet Mazdoor Samiti and others versus State of West Bengal. While widening the scope of Article 21 and the government responsibility to provide medical aid to every person in the country held, Supreme Court held that in a welfare state the primary duty of the government is to secure the welfare of the people. Providing adequate medical facilities for the people is an obligation undertaken by the government in welfare state. The government discharges this obligation by providing medical care to the persons seeking to avail of those facilities. Article 21 imposes an obligation on the state to safeguard the right to life of every person. The Supreme Court held preservation of human life is thus of paramount importance. The government hospital run by the state, the government hospital run by the state are duty bound to extend medical assistance for preserving human life. Failure on the part of a government hospitals to provide timely medical treatment to a person in need of such treatment result in violation of this right to life guaranteed under Article 21. The petitioner should be suitably compensated for the breach of his right guaranteed under Article 21 of the Constitution, Supreme Court held. Now I will take up the case where it is decided that professional obligation to protect life of accident victim. This is in the case of Parmanand Katara versus Union of India. It is held in this case the professional obligation is to protect life of accident victim. Supreme Court ruled that every doctor, whether at a government hospital or otherwise, has the professional obligation to extend his services with due expertise for protecting life. No law or state action can intervene to delay or to avoid the discharge of the paramount obligation cast upon member of the medical professions. The obligations being total, absolute and paramount law of procedures, whether in statutes or otherwise, which would interfere with the discharge of this obligation cannot be sustained and must therefore give away. The court laid down number of guidelines for the doctors when injured person approaches them. Under the guidelines which are laid down by the Supreme Court is duty of a doctor when an injured person approaches him. Under this guideline, it was held whenever on such occasion a man of medical profession is approached by an injured person, and if he finds that whatever assistance he could give is not really sufficient to save the life of the person, but some better assistance is necessary, it is the duty of the man in medical profession so approach to render all the help which he could and also see that person reaches the proper expert as early as possible. The second guideline, legal protection to doctors treating injured person. A doctor does not contravene the law of the land by proceeding to treat an injured victim on his appearance before him, either by himself or with other. Journal regulations and classifications cannot operate as fetters in the discharge of the obligation, even if the victim is sent elsewhere under local rules and regardless of the involvement of the police. And third guideline is no legal bar on doctors from attending to the injured person. There is no legal impediment for a medical professional when he is called upon or requested to attend to an injured person needing his medical assistance immediately. The effort to save the person should be the top priority not only of the medical profession but even of the police or any other citizen who happens to be counted with the matter or who happens to notice such an incident or a situation. doctor. The court has criticized the tendency to harass the medical professions. It has remarked that unnecessary harassment of the member of the medical professions, either by way of request for adjournment or by cross examination, should be avoided. The court, however, added that these apprehensions should not prevent the person in the medical profession from discharging their duty as a medical profession to save a human life and to all that is necessary. This Permanent Katara case is known as a medico legal case where detailed guidelines were laid down to protect the life of the person who injured during the accident. Now I will discuss the workers' right to clean environment and healthcare facility. The Supreme Court has recognized the right of the workers and their rights to basic health facilities under the Constitution as well as under the International Convention to which India is a party. In the judgment of Supreme Court in Bandhua Mukti Morcha versus Union of India, the Supreme Court outlined the scope of Article 21 of the Constitution and held that it is the fundamental right of everyone in this country, assured under the interpretation given to Article 21 by to give with human dignity free from exploitation. The right to live with human dignity enshrined in Article 21 derives its life breath from the directive principle of state policy and particularly under Article 39 E, F and Article 41 and 42. It must include protection of the health and strength of the worker, man and women, and children of tender age against abuse, opportunities and facilities for children to develop in a healthy manner, just and human condition of work and maternity relief. These are the basic requirements which must exist in the order to enable a person to live with human dignity. No state, neither the central government or any state government, has the right to take any action which deprive a person of the enjoyment of these basic essential. Under the case of Subhash Chandra Bose, the Supreme Court held that the health and strength of a worker is an integral part of the life of right to life. The aim of fundamental right is to create an egalitarian society to free all citizens from coercion or restriction by society and to make liberty available to all. The Supreme Court held that the term health implies more than an absence of sickness. Medical care and health facilities not only protect against sickness but also ensure stable manpower for economic development. Facilities of health and medical care generate devotion and dedication to give the workers best physically as well as mentally in productivity. It enables the worker to enjoy the fruits of his labor, to keep him physically fit and mentally alert for leading a successful economic, social, and cultural life. Therefore, the medical facilities are part of social security, and like guilt is security, would yield immediate return in the increased production or at any rate of reduced absentia on the ground of sickness. Health is thus a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. In the case of Consumer Education and Research Center, the three judges bench of the Supreme Court ruled that right to health and medical care to protect health and strength while in service or post retirement is a fundamental right of a worker under Article 21. Read with Article 39E, 41, 43, 48A. All related articles and fundamental human rights are intended to make the life of the workman meaningful and purposeful. Lack of health denudes him of his livelihood. In the Vincent versus Union of India, the Supreme Court reiterated its stand for providing health facilities, held that a healthy body is the very foundation of all human activities. In a welfare state, it is the obligation of the state to ensure the creation and sustaining of conditions which are necessary to good health. In the Kirloskar Brothers Limited case, the Supreme Court reiterated and highlighted the importance of directive principle. It observed that in expanding economic activity in a liberalized economy, Part 4 of the Constitution enjoins not only the state and its instrument but even private industries to ensure safety to the workmen and to provide facilities and opportunities for health and strength of the workmen assured in relevant provision in part 4th, which are integral part of the right to equality under article 14 and right to life under article 21. Constitutional right to healthcare for convict and under trial. The Supreme Court, while recognizing the custodial rights of individual in Supreme Court Legal Aid Committee through Honorable Secretary versus State of Bihar, uh, it was ruled that it is the obligation of the police to ensure appropriate protection of the person taken into custody, including medical care of such person needs it. The state of Bihar was directed to pay compensation to the legal representative of the deceased. I mean to say, accused or convicted person both are having right to access the medical facilities. Uh, Guidelines for holding eye camp liability of philanthropic institutions for the loss of eyesight of person during the conduct of eye camp. So in the case of A.S. Mittal versus State of Uttar Pradesh, Supreme Court laid down guidelines to follow by the doctors or by the organization which organize camp for health services. The Supreme Court, while dealing with the public interest litigation under Article 32 of the Constitution, alleging negligence on the part of the doctor in providing services at an eye camp organized by the Lions Club of Uttar Pradesh, it was proved a disastrous medical misadventure for the patient. The operated eye of the patient were damaged owing to a post-operative infection of the interlocular cavities. This terrible medical mishap was due to a common contaminating sources. The court suggested several guidelines to follow at camp for medical facilities. For example, the operation in the camp should only be performed by qualified persons, experienced surgeons registered with Medical Council of India or any state medical council. The camp should not be used as a training ground for postgraduate students. There should be a pathologist to examine urine, blood, sugar, etc. It is a preferably to have a dentist to check the teeth for sepsis and physician for general medical checkup. All medicine to be used should be of standard quality, duly verified by the doctor in charge of the camp. The court further held that maintenance of the highest standard of sterilized condition at place where any surgery is conducted, it cannot be overemphasized. Implementation of international standard with respect to health or right to health. In the case of Messrs. Cosmopolitans Hospital and versus Srimati Vasanta P. Nair, the Supreme Court reiterated its stand towards the constitutional right of an employee to health and medical aid and safety from occupational health hazards. It ruled that employer is obliged to provide proactive measures to workmen. Industries are bound by the directions issued by the International Labour Organization. It is necessary to issue appropriate direction in the light of the rules issued by ILO and same shall be binding on all the industries. It was held that health and strength of the worker is an integral part of the right to life. Denial thereof denudes the workman of the finer facts of the life, violating Article 21, the right to human dignity, development of personality, social protection, right to rest are fundamental human rights of a workman assured by the Charter of Human Rights and in the preamble and Article 30 and 39 of the Constitution. In conclusion, I would like to say the Supreme Court in number of the cases, in number of the landmark judgment has brought medical facilities to be a part of life and liberty under Article 21 and impose a duty not only upon the state and its instrument but even on the private employer to provide health services during and after employment under the directive principles of state policies. The Supreme Court of India in a series of cases has awarded compensation to the victim and his family for the violation of the right of life and health care guaranteed under the constitution under article 32 and public interest litigation. Though the Supreme Court of India in series of judgments has declared the right to health care to be fundamental right, it has not been given due recognition by the state. It is recommended by the Supreme Court in number of the cases that the legislature should take initiative by incorporating provision under Article 21 of the Constitution of India, making the right to health as a fundamental right. The next topic I will discuss right to health vis-a-vis right to confidentiality. Thank you very much.